You can start talking now.
Start talking.
Yeah.
We are three. Say hi, Nick.
Hello.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
I was waiting for him to say,
Hi, Nick.
good night, Gracie. Good night, Gracie.
Wasn't Train to Busan or what? All right.
Train to Busan was a great movie.
Train to Busan is a fantastic movie, but we're worth the wait, and so is Train to Busan.
Who's sitting on my scarf? Oh, I am.
At least it'll be nice and warm down.
Damn, I can't get it off.
I was going to say something, but yeah.
Whatever.
Reactions to what? Train to Busan?
Are there reactions to that movie?
There's reactions to everything. There's reactions to reactions.
There's reactions to reactions. Okay. Why are we silent?
I don't
I don't know. Just I was asking a question to see if I got an answer.
Good luck.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, especially the ending. Train to Busan.
Every time you move that thing, it's like...
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm sorry. We don't really move these much.
That's horrible sound. Just leave it right there. It's fine.
Holy
Everybody,
shit.
this is our long-lost brother, Nick.
See, we look alike. He's the mailman's kid. Or the milkman or something.
It used to be even worse when you were really, really skinny. And Steve and I have never really been well, I was once, but then it really...
Speak for yourself, bitch.
There was a huge difference there.
You were damn near anorexic. What's the word for that? Emaciated. You were like just...
Wait a second.
Scary.
This motherfucker just
Scary.
said I was never skinny. Fuck him. What the fuck?
You were never skinny.
Bullshit, I wasn't. I had a 30-inch waist in my senior year in high school.
I don't even think I was a lot... I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember any of that. I was in the military at that
Yeah,
time.
you were in the Army.
I don't remember.
And he was still just out of shit in his diapers.
Pretty much. So Nick is, you're what, 15 years younger than me?
He's 13 years younger than me, yeah.
So, 14, 15 years younger than you. Yeah.
He was an accident.
We determined that one a long
I'm
time
pretty
ago.
sure we were all accidents.
I wasn't. I was planned.
Bullshit.
Planned. Like,
Planned.
on this day we shall make greatness.
You know, they say, accidents are the best because when you plan something, the expectations are higher, and then look, It's like...
All right, there might be some truth in that. It might be.
I was a spoiled one.
You were spoiled.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
I
yeah.
was. There's no denying that. The last child's always the spoiled one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But so is the middle
I am
child.
a typical middle child. I am the poster child for what a middle child ends up looking like and acting like.
Cranky, abused.
Fucking abused.
He is the cream to the Oreo cookie that is this family.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's disgusting. But
You know what was the funniest thing last night? So Nick and I are sitting at the dinner table last night, and we're talking, and we're listening to you and Jack, and you just started going off, telling your stories stories that Nick and I have heard 1,000
Oh,
freaking
fuck you.
times. All right, and he said the best line that since he came back. Go ahead, tell him what it was.
No, because John, we could hear it, and I looked at John, and I could already tell John knew what I was about to say, and I looked at him and was like, looks like Jack put the quarter in the monkey.
what the fuck?
Because you were just going off. I'm like, it's like the World War II vet telling all his World War II stories and everything. It's like, oh yeah, all this and this and this and this and this. I was waiting for you to bust out the, well, I am a published author and all this other stuff. I'm like,
Oh, fuck him. What the fuck? You motherfucker. You know, I got money. I can fly him back to Maine now. Who the fuck invited him?
So, the funny thing about that is we have right here a 6-degree black belt. We have here a 3rd degree.
First degree.
You're a 1st degree
I
black
only ever
belt?
made
You only
first.
made it 1st degree?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. These guys used to fight constantly. And they would just try to outdo each other.
Yeah, but we would you couldn't pass by each other in the house with someone getting hit. Someone was getting hit.
Yeah.
I mean, something. I mean, it wasn't like, it was like, you would try to take each other out.
Especially down our hallway, because our hallway was this tiny hallway. Barely the two of us could fit through. When these two guys went through that hallway, they would just attack each other on the way. Just get into the sneak cut. If I saw one of them and I was going to go down that hallway, I'd be like, nope. And I'd sit there and wait for them to come out. And when they were coming out, I'd be like, no. Because I never knew, hey, let's get John this time. No, because I'd been beaten up by you plenty of times. Enough to know, no, I don't want any of this, especially from my younger one either. I don't want that either. But, yeah.
I used to invite Nick to spar my students in class knowing he was going to wreck them. He'd be like, yeah, sure, go ahead and throw that kick at him. Let's see what happens. Hey, watch this. One of them ends up going out for a month with a contusion on his shin. Because Nick just punched his leg as it was coming in. It'd be like, oh, damn, that hurt.
Yep. So
Those were fun times.
So it's been 3 years, and
3 years since what?
since we've been together.
He has only been gone a year and a half.
Yeah, I've only been gone a year and a half.
Holy shit, John entered a time warp.
The three of us doing.
Doing
this,
longer than 3 years, the three of us have been
3
together.
years.
It's been longer than that. The three of us have been in a studio together.
You and I, as far as like our MB show, that's maybe only
You and I, but the
3
three of
years.
us.
It's been
since,
longer.
Since we had him, that's more like 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
So
It's been a while.
So tell everybody what you've been doing, where you live, what you're doing, where you work.
I live in the balmy, warm state of Maine. So when I visited down here, I'm looking at everyone. I was like, man, it's warm down here, and they're all looking at me because it's still like 30-something, 40-something degrees.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's warm. Yeah.
For you.
Oh yeah.
It was.
It's already hit like -5 up there. It's couple
Holy
points.
shit.
I do not miss that.
I love it though. Clean air, mountain air. Hits your face, freezes the whole damn thing. It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I remember those days.
Mhm.
So Nick builds destroyers.
Yeah. I work on a shipyard.
Boats. Big
Yeah.
boats.
Big boats.
Big boats.
Big freaking boats.
Big boomer.
But yeah, I knew I was going to get up to New England, back to New England eventually. So
I knew you were.
So.
I knew you were. I want to.
I love it too much.
So Nick's going to have a COVID test tomorrow. Or else he's going to be in 14-day quarantine.
Yeah.
We should keep him from doing it just for the hell of it. Nah, you can't.
So,
I'm not looking forward to it. You're going to shove that thing all the way to my brain.
Well, now they don't just do it in the nose anymore. Now it's they go down your throat and test your gag reflexes. No more shoving it up your nose anymore.
some people will be better than others.
Some people will be very good at that.
Are you still not gagging? Holy Christ. Yeah. Make sure you line your throat up right.
Anyway, how are you guys doing? We hope you had a great Christmas. Three of us being together for the first time in a while. We didn't get a chance to have Christmas together last year, but this year was awesome. We had the whole family together. Yeah. It was a great time. So we hope you guys did too. We hope you were with family or friends or whatever, loved ones, and we hope it was everything you wanted it to be. And we're going to try and make it a little more festive today, somehow, some way.
We forgot the Santa Claus hats.
Yeah, we did. We were going to wear Santa Claus hats, and we forgot. Because we were too busy geeking out over Star Wars hats.
Yeah.
Which is where we're taking Nick on Sunday. Because he got me hooked on The Mandalorian.
Today. Yeah.
Yep. So
it's awesome.
We're going back. But anyway, let's talk about the Christmas Carol special that we did. Do you remember the year that we did this?
Oh. This had to be like 4 or 5. I don't know. At least 5 years ago.
5 years.
It'll keep going. It was longer than that.
Because we had Nadia with us. It was you, me, Nadia at that time. Mm-hmm. And we had still gone another year on and off because we could hardly get together like we used to be able to. So I'm thinking, yeah, you might be right. 5 years.
Yeah. At least
2015. So
we spent almost 2 years on Adam Curry's network, right?
On his network, yeah. Mm-hmm. So the idea came. We were always trying to do something for Christmas. You want to make some kind of Christmas special, and I was in the film industry at that time. Nick was producing some phenomenal music. In fact, he and I had worked on projects together in the film industry before, so people knew who we were. And so I had the idea based on Charles Dickens' classic Christmas Carol, except I modernized it, made it more current, changed a few things around, not so much to make it more amusing, just to make it different is really what I wanted. And, Nick did everything else. And when I say he did everything else, I mean outside of the actors coming in, looking at the poster, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 16 different people act as characters. The 3 of us actually did some of our own. And we had them come in, do their lines, do their bits together. Sometimes it was more than one person. Sometimes it was just one. And little by little, we started putting the dialogue together. But the master behind the production, all the music that you'll hear in this thing is all this guy right here, except for a couple of pieces which were done by Tommy.
Guitar stuff.
The guitar stuff. But the theme song, which is just creative genius by this guy right here, really captured the story. I think it really... It makes the story all that much more memorable, and I think you guys will agree with me when you hear it. But I don't want to get too much into it because we're going to be talking in between.
Well, they would have to know what the premise of our radio show was. We had our Italian persona.
Yeah.
So
we were the Macaccio brothers, and we were just like three guys from the Northeast. We were WAPs. The tagline to our show was "Get Your WAP On," and we would go around and get people to say "Get Your WAP On" so that we could throw it into our opening song. And so that was the premise. The premise that there were three Italian guys talking about stuff the way Italians normally do, which normally is with a lot of F-bombs and a lot of things that really have no logic to them whatsoever. Just opinions. That's all it was.
You have to understand, John and I grew up in a time where we would go to family reunions. Yeah. They were all Italians. Some Italians you didn't want to know what they did.
Right.
I mean, our cousin was Mayor Trafficante. Trafficante was mentioned in the movie, The Irishman.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of... Our grandmother was related to the Patriarchus. So... It's just,
I mean, when we had family get-togethers, there were rows of cars up and down the street just for our little family get-together.
Yeah.
A lot of them were Cadillacs, big cars, Lincolns.
Pinstripe suits.
The women would be outside around a picnic table or whatever they were with the kids, and the men were inside behind closed doors playing cards.
Yep. We were invited there when we were older.
Cigars and drinking.
When we were about 15 or so, we were allowed to go in there and sit with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then we'd go to weddings, and every wedding was this huge occasion The reception was at the El Morocco.
Yeah, the smallest wedding was 450 people.
Yeah. The reception would be at the El Morocco, where there would be a big band playing, and we met aunts and uncles we didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
This is your Aunt Ann. This is your Uncle Paulie over here. Oh, hi. And that was the only time you saw these people. You never saw them any other time.
But you didn't hear anything until later. After they would pass away, you would start hearing stories.
Right. So anyway, that's the world that Stephen and I, at least, grew up in. It kind of petered off after Nick was born.
Grandpa passed away.
Once Grandpa passed away, that was kind of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much at that point.
People talked big after that, but nobody did anything. They just talked big.
We would have family reunions at this park called Goddard Park, and Grandpa didn't just reserve a table.
He reserved the whole
He reserved
field.
the entire field for us. Because he didn't want anybody having that field.
He didn't want anybody near us. He didn't like being crowded by other people.
No, he didn't.
He wanted his family, and that was it. So
you'd think that we'd be rich or something, all right? But we're not, because we didn't fit into the other side of the family.
I had my shot, though.
You had your shot.
Yeah.
You had your shot.
That was asked if I never needed a favor. Holy shit.
No, thank you.
The scariest part of that was that they knew Grandpa. That was the scariest part of that.
You know, I remember times going to a barber shop, Grandpa taking me, we'd walk, and there were all these guys sitting outside the barber shop, and I just didn't seem strange.
Reading the newspaper.
Didn't seem strange. They would look up and they'd go, "Hey, Louie," and they'd look at me, and I'm not telling you what my nickname was, but they would say, "Hey, you got your grandson," and we'd go inside. I'd get a haircut. He'd get whatever, because I never knew what he would disappear. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
But everybody knew who our grandfather was.
But
everybody.
Yeah. When my music agent, my producer, Anthony Ferro, I'll even mention his name, Anthony Ferro, took me to the old cantina. And we're getting ready to go in there. And I said, "Hey, Anthony, didn't someone die in their spaghetti here?" Because that was the story you always heard. So he's like, "Wait a second." He goes to the maitre d'. He goes, "Hey, Paulie, Stevie wants to know if anybody died in the spaghetti here." And he goes, "Oh, no, well, yeah, just one time. Just once." and Anthony looks at me and goes, "Okay, one time." So he goes and sits us down. And I'm looking, and I'm here to see this table of like 8 guys, all in pinstripe suits, sitting at this table. Anthony keeps looking over at them. He goes, "Steve, I want to go over there and introduce him to you." He goes, "But your mother was Italian, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, she's Sicilian." And he goes, "What was her maiden name?" And I said, "Marcaccio." And he goes, "When I go there, I'm going to introduce you as Steve Marcaccio. Just kind of, because you're with me." Okay. So we go over there. He goes, "Hey, this is, I'm taking care of this guy in the music business. This is Stevie Marcaccio." And a couple of guys, "Marcaccio, you related to Louis?" And I'm like, "Louis Marcaccio, my grandfather." "Yes." "He's Louis's grandson." "Hey, come over. Oh my God, this is Louis. Hey, this is Louis's grandson." And they all gave me hugs. And one of them says, "You ever need a favor?" And he hands me a business card. I got out of there and I went to Anthony and I'm like this. I'm tearing up. I said, "I don't want this." I said, "Because I want it."
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God. We know he did. We know he was a bookie. That was it. That's all we know. We don't know what else.
But anyway, so that's kind of our past.
That's the premise of the show. That's why we did the show.
Led us to do the Marcaccio Brothers show. And so this modern day version of A Christmas Carol does not take place in London, England in the 19th century.
Nope.
It's 20th century New Jersey. And it's not Bob Cratchit. It's Bobby Cratchetti. It's not Eddie Scrooge. Teddy Screw Julio. So it's got a little bit more of that flair to it, but the actors who did the work did a phenomenal job just getting into these characters. You can tell some of them hadn't done it very long, but we still had a great time doing it. But Nick, this guy, we put this thing together. He did like 75% of the work all by himself, just with the background noises, the music, just the leveling, everything was done by this guy. And he hated us at the end.
Now, a couple of these actors have gone on to big roles, or bigger roles, I should say, in main movies.
They have.
One of them was in, what was it? Was it Olympus Has Fallen or White House Down or something?
Cody Daniel was in one of those films.
Yeah, he was one of the Secret Service.
He was the one where Aaron Eckhart was the president.
Yeah.
And he actually had to shove Aaron Eckhart into the elevator.
Yeah.
Kim Foster has been in... she actually played, what's her name? The girl who married Johnny Depp, Vanessa Paradis. She played Vanessa Paradis in that story. I don't know. It's a whole series.
Mm-hmm.
But Kim Foster was on The Good Guys. She's been in a few things. So, they're not worldwide known people, but they've been in big productions.
But there was a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
I will say, we... that time crunch, that last minute time crunch that we had to do just to put this whole thing together, that was one of the most tiring experiences I've ever had as far as any audio ever. Because that night before, we realized we didn't really have anything together all that much, and we were supposed to have it by the next day. So we were like, well, we're not sleeping. And I put together so much audio in the span of one night, throwing it together, and then we're like, oh, we don't have music for this part. I think it needs music. So I'm sitting there trying to write music in just one, in like a 15, 20-minute time span.
And then we heard Ed's part, and we went, this doesn't work. So
Nope.
I had to do Ed's part with some demonic voice and everything. We had 1 hour. Yep.
Yeah.
1 hour to go to Starbucks, get a coffee, re-energize so that we could come back and play it on the show.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah, but the cool thing is on Adam Curry's radio, they put it on play. They kept on playing it over and over again.
Yeah. And I believe they played it the next year too, on his network.
That's cool.
Well, yeah, they had asked me if they could, and I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So,
Now I can hear you guys in a lot of different parts in it. Like Nick played like one of the people coming in and asking for offerings and stuff like that.
Both he and I did characters like that. I did a homeless guy.
Yeah.
I played.
But it's Christmas.
But it's Christmas, sir. I did the voice of Jacob Marley.
Yeah, which was friggin' awesome.
That's all him.
Yeah.
But I think that was it. I think that was all that I did. But the rest of the cast, because I can't act. But wait till you hear this guy.
With the
I'm not going to say anymore. I'm not going to spoil this at all. But when you hear Steve's version of the Grim Reaper, you guys are going to love it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we won't give away the actual
I'll
name.
tell everybody after who I see if they can guess who
guess.
designed that character after.
Right.
Yeah.
So are we ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right, guys. For the first time in a long time, this is our production of A Christmas Carol.
And I'm going to turn the mics off until we have to talk.
The Mercaccio brothers present Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, a radio adaptation written by John Pender, starring Roger Schwärmer as Eddie Scrooge Screwulio, Troy Randall Smith as Bobby Crachetti, Elizabeth Dukes Melanson as the Ghost of Christmas Past, Jason Coleman as the ghost of Christmas present, Stevie Marcaccio as Two Pennies, Cody Daniel as Frederick, Ed Fontaine as Jacob Marley, Nadia Whittle as Rita Cratchetti, and Shelley Pender as Gloria. Co-starring Leah Marisol Thomas, Lori Kale, Jody Hadsel, Kim Foster, Nikki Marcaccio, Johnny Marcaccio, Na Ma. Narrated by myself, Neil Meckling. Act 1. Marley. Our story begins at the office of Marley and Screwulio Residentials. It is Christmas Eve. Snow is falling outside. Inside, the office is dark and lit by candlelight. The power is out once again. Two men are seated at desks. The younger of the two is Bobby Cratchetti, a thin man in his early 30s. He is covered in a large but raggedy coat and shivering as he tries to ink numbers into his books. The other is Eddie Screwulio. Those who know him call him Scrooge. Those who know him well call him something far worse. There is a third man standing by Scrooge's desk. His name is Frederick. He is a cheerful young man in his mid-20s. He walks over to the thermostat and taps it a few times.
This is ridiculous, Uncle. You need to call it a day and go home. Who knows when the building's power will be back on?
I believe I can get by just fine without your amazing insight on the state of my office, thank you.
Suit yourself. I didn't come here to argue with you anyway.
Good. Then you'll be leaving?
Actually, I came here to invite you to Christmas dinner tomorrow.
Is it that time already? Well, damn it all to the infernal bowels of the abyss. And I was having such a good day. Christmas? Bull poopy.
I'm sorry. Did you just say bull poopy? Is that what you think of Christmas, Uncle?
I do. Now, what right do you have to be so merry, eh? What reason you're poor enough, aren't you?
Well, fine then. What right have you to be so dismal? Such a stick in the mud. Why are you such a miserable old crotch? You're rich enough, aren't you?
Damn bull poopy.
Always so bitter.
Well, what else am I supposed to be, eh? I live in a world full of idiots. Idiots that trip over each other to be the first to get the best deals on Black Friday. As if they can't wait to show their pettiness and spend their money foolishly. Fighting over a parking spot or a toy or a phone. Incredible imbeciles. Oh, but yet they are quick to say words like Merry Christmas and season's greetings and spreading Christmas cheer. Hypocrites, I say. If I could work my will, every moron who goes about saying Merry Christmas would be boiled in his own cider and buried with a stake of holly through the heart.
So, I take it you're not coming.
Nothing good ever came from Christmas. Take a look in the mirror. It certainly hasn't increased your station in life one bit.
Do things that are so good and right need to be so profitable, Uncle? It's the one day out of the year when we can put aside the coldness of our hearts and be giving. Are there people out there that don't see that? Of course there are. There are also plenty that do, and I consider myself one of those people. Yeah, it's never put an extra dollar in my pocket, but it makes me feel good. It makes others feel good. That's important.
Am I hearing something from you, Cratchetti? Is Christmas worth losing your job over? And you, my nephew, are quite the speaker. You should run for office one day.
Will you reconsider, Uncle?
No. Now go, please. I have work to do.
I'm your only living relative. Why do you despise me so much?
Question. Why did you ever get married anyway?
I fell in love.
Fell in love? The one thing more ridiculous than Christmas is love. You can leave now.
Surely that's not it. You never came and saw me before I fell in love.
You can leave now.
Very well. Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Are you still here?
And Happy New Year.
Bull poopy.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Cratchetti.
Merry Christmas, Frederick.
Another moron. My property manager, who makes squat for pay, has a wife and family talking about Merry Christmas. I will retire in a world of mayhem.
Moments later, two gentlemen in business suits open the door to the office and walk in. Both men wear smiles on their faces and seem to be of means. Phil and Troy approach as Scrooge smiles at them.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Is this the office of Screwulio and Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead for 7 years, sir. In fact, he died 7 years ago this night.
So sorry to hear that. Such a shame. We have no doubt that his liberality is well survived by his partner.
Liberality? What a grotesque-sounding word. It's like purposely trying to gag on something to make it taste better. Now, what may I do for you two gentlemen?
But it's Christmas, sir.
Yeah, I know this. And I'm trying to gag on it, but it doesn't taste any better.
We are a local charity that goes around collecting from folks who are faring much better than most. This year, the numbers have almost doubled. Thousands more are homeless than last year this time.
Well, it's not my fault, is it? We have shelters, don't we? Soup kitchens. The schools are shut down at this time of year. We could let them sleep in the gymnasiums and feed them there. Surely all is not lost.
Yes, well, they're all operational, sir, but they filled up weeks ago. There's no place left for them.
The product of unions and spoiled employees. Perhaps the union representatives who are sitting in their large, comfy homes will give what they have taken from the businesses that are trying to survive during these times.
Sir, many will die if they don't receive food and shelter.
Perhaps they should then. That would cut down on the burden the rest of us are asked to take upon in our taxes.
What a horrible thing to say.
Is it so horrible? It is a constant struggle, day after day, to maintain my business. Let others maintain theirs as well. This company started from nothing and a lot of hard work. I should not be made to feel guilty for that. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Both men realize that any further discussion would be pointless. They withdraw, leaving the office behind them. The afternoon turns into early evening. The power is still out and the candles are nearly depleted. Scrooge looks up at the clock on his desk and realizes it's closing time. He looks over to see Cratchits warming his hands over the dying flame of his candle.
No overtime tonight, Cratchits. Let's close up.
Yes, sir. I'll get the door for you, sir.
Yes, I'm right behind you. I suppose you will want all day off tomorrow?
If it's not an inconvenience, sir.
Of course it's an inconvenience. And unfair. If I was to pay for a half-day's wages after you worked all day, you would say I was treating you poorly. But paying you all day for doing nothing, an inconvenience? It's practically pickpocketing.
It's just once a year, sir.
Is that an excuse for stealing? Fine. You will have your day off, but you will be here early the next day.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And a Merry
Finish that sentence, and I'll fire you right here and now.
Yes, sir. Good evening, then.
Bull poopy.
Scrooge watches Cratchits walk away, groaning at the bounce in the man's step. Scrooge closes and locks the door to the office. He walks down a few blocks, passing couples, vendors, and carolers. Everyone who wishes him a Merry Christmas is greeted with a grunted version of bull poopy, or just a grunt if he feels the word would be wasted on such foolish people.
Merry Christmas, huh?
Merry Christmas.
And a Merry bull poopy to you, too. Bull poopy.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Bull poopy.
As he approaches the front door to his home, a beggar approaches him.
Sir, I know you're really busy, but can you spare some change? Yeah, I'm real hungry. It's cold.
You come any closer and I'll have you arrested for assault.
Assault? No. I just asked you if you could spare some change.
And I heard you loud and clear, but I'll tell the police something different. It's your word against mine.
You would do such a thing on Christmas?
I'm sorry. Is assaulting someone legal on Christmas?
But
get a job. Earn that which will ease your hunger and thirst.
Oh, I see how you are. That's fine. You'll get yours one day, my friend.
Bull poopy.
Yeah. What comes around goes around. Or is it goes around, comes around? Damn it.
You're an idiot. Bull poopy.
It's Christmas, for God's sake.
Christmas is bull poopy.
Scrooge walks to his front door and fumbles with his keys. As he does, he suddenly looks up at the door. There is a flyer sticking out of the letter slot. He reaches down and opens it. He is stricken with horror. It's the face of his dead partner, Jacob Marley.
Screw Julio. It's Screw Julio.
What you call me?
Just as Scrooge believes that the photo of Marley is speaking to him, it changes back into a different face, and an image of Jesus appears. There is writing underneath it that says, "He wants you to love others as he has loved you. Give to the needy this year."
Bad bull poopy. But I can use this to start a fire in the hearth. No need in letting good paper go to waste.
Later that evening, as Scrooge sits in his recliner in his pajamas and evening coat, he eats a bowl of soup in front of the fireplace. It is warm inside, but he also feels an occasional swirl of coldness in the house as well. This makes him uneasy. Faces and pictures and photos seem to change to that of Jacob Marley. Shadows seem to move out of the corner of his eye. A sudden draft emerges from within and makes its presence known within the hearth, striking the flames with a whumph, causing him to tense suddenly. Every moan and crack from the wood in the building seems to amplify throughout the structure. Then, for a moment, all seems to go silent. Just before the grandfather clock in the nearby hall strikes, Scrooge leaps, spilling some of the hot soup on his lap in the process.
Ah, bloody hell, that's hot!
Scrooge walks over to the clock in the hallway. It chimes 4 times before it stops, just as Scrooge arrives. He looks at the face of the clock curiously. The time is 10:22.
Piece of junk? You're damn near roasting my chestnuts just now.
Scrooge is about to sit down when suddenly there's a clanking sound below in the basement. This is followed by the sound of a heavy chain being dragged. The sound is deep and seems to get louder as it gets closer. Scrooge goes wide-eyed and hides behind the recliner, his eyes peering out the side, staring at the door to the cellar. The noise stops for a moment, but then the door bursts open with a loud crash. He can feel the wooden floor below him tremble as the sound of the chain being dragged begins and grows louder still. To his horror, he realizes the sound is coming up the stairs from the cellar. In a panic, Scrooge shouts out,
"Out of my house! Out! I'm calling the police!"
There is a sudden gust of air. The door to the cellar slams shut, and the fire in the hearth seems to dim. Scrooge suddenly feels a deep cold within. He trembles as he stands, trying to tighten the evening coat around his neck. As he does, a single clanking of a chain is heard just a few feet in front of him, which causes Scrooge to shriek and fall back into the recliner.
This isn't real. It's a bull poopy. Screw Julio! I hated that joke in school, and I'm not too fond of it now either.
Suddenly, an image materializes in front of him. It is the ghost of Jacob Marley. Marley stands almost floating before Scrooge. There are chains wrapped around his torso that dangle down to the floor, laying in coils about his feet. Attached to the chains are boxes, padlocks, heavy purses, and briefcases. There is a wrapping of cloth around his head down under his jaw and tied at the top. Marley reaches and unties this cloth. When he loosens it, his jaw drops down, unnaturally low, and a howl of anguish emerges from within the specter.
Well, that's just great. I just wet myself, thank you.
Screwy Julio.
What? What do you want from me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Fine, okay. Who were you? You seem familiar.
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Well, of course you are.
You don't believe in me.
Nope. It's bullpoopy.
I hate when you use that term.
This could all be something bad that was in my soup, or a hallucination. Food poisoning. Many things couldn't explain what this is. I could hit my head on something and then be tortured by a legion of goblins, all my mind's creation. Bullpoopy with a capital B.
Marley rears back his head and wails out. His chains flail in the air, and one swings out just barely missing Scrooge. He screams and coils up in a fetal position on the chair.
That's just great. Now I've soiled myself. You happy?
Mortal-minded whelp. Do you believe in me or not?
I believe. I just don't understand why you have come to me.
It's a requirement of every being. They should walk amongst his fellow men. But if that man should not do so in life, if he should shun those others, then the soul is condemned to do so in death. It is doomed to wander through the world. I have seen things now that I could have shared with you in life had I took the time.
Marley wails as the chains shake around him.
Stop doing this! Stop it! Stop! Why are you like this anyway?
These chains, forged in life, I made them link by link by yard. I girded them with my own free will, and of my own free will, I wore them. Is the pattern odd to you?
Odd? As if I would know.
Perhaps you know the length and weight of the coil you bear yourself. It was this full, this heavy 7 years ago. You have labored on it much since then. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob, please. This is depressing. Don't you have any good stories?
You seek comfort in places where there is none. The place where there is such a thing, I have never been to. I have no knowledge of this thing you seek.
So, you're telling me that in 7 years, you've done nothing? Seems like a waste of time.
A waste of time?
Well, one would think that you would learn something in 7 years.
I was imprisoned. Just the slightest bit of generosity, speck of kindness, moment of consideration. Every opportunity that presented itself, wasted by my indifference.
Bull poopy. You were a good man, Jacob Marley. A hard worker and a trustworthy partner. Almost unheard of in the business world.
Business. What did in life is but a drop of water in what really real business should have been. The common welfare, charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence. These should have been my business. But hear me now, for my time is nearly up.
I'm listening, Jacob.
I am here tonight to warn you, to tell you that you have hope and a chance at escaping my fate.
Spoken like a true friend, Jacob. You always did look out for my well-being.
You'll be haunted by 3 spirits.
Haunted? By 3 spirits? As in ghosts? This is the hope that you're talking about? This is what's going to save me?
It is.
Thank you, but I think I'll pass. No need to do me any favors.
Without their visits, you cannot avoid the path I now tread. Expect the first tomorrow morning. The bell tolls 1.
What? Are you kidding me? 1 in the morning? When am I going to sleep? Now, couldn't we just get the 3 of them together so they do their thing all at once? Come on, give me a break here.
Expect the 2nd and 3rd to follow after.
Wonderful. So what happens after that? You return and tell me what my score was?
You'll see me no more. But for your own sake, remember what has passed between us this evening.
The specter grabs the wrapping. He brings it up under his jaw and over his head. When he tightens it, the gaping maw closes shut, and there is a hollow sound of bone and teeth being clamped together that makes Scrooge wince. The ghost then walks to the window. It opens suddenly, and when it does, there is the sound of many distant voices wailing in the night. Suddenly, the chains lift and snake out the window, clanking and banging. Marley seems to stand there for just a moment before he is suddenly whisked away through the window and out into the evening sky. Scrooge looks out the window and he sees many phantoms linked by chains, weaving in and out of alleys and buildings. Their forms, illuminated by moonlight, gradually turn into a fading mist that reaches out and disappears into the darkness beyond. Scrooge stands there for a long moment before he realizes the chill that he's letting into the house. He looks outside one more time before closing the window.
Bull poopy.
Okay, there we go. Jeez. Oh, freaking this is gonna be the death of me.
Oh man.
Okay.
We're still laughing at this. And how many times have we heard this?
Yeah.
Roger Schwimmer, that thing that he does, was just, it was a one-time thing. It was just something he had did on the side, and I went, do that again, and he went, and I went, all right, that's your response. That's your response when you're scared. I want you to do that every time. And every time he would do it, we would have to redo the check because we would laugh so hard. You've got to see Roger doing it in order to, because Roger's this tiny little guy. He's like, I don't know, what, 5'4", maybe
90 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, just this tiny little guy. And he was Eddie Screwulio right from the beginning. I had him in mind for it. I knew I wanted him to do it, and he played the part very, very well.
So we have one of my favorites coming up. So
we have the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yep.
Which is Elizabeth Dukes-Mellon.
Which she did a fantastic job, and then comes the Ghost of Christmas Presents, which I think
one
just
of the great,
yeah.
But the idea we had for the Ghost of Christmas Past was almost like a tiny anime character. But it didn't quite come out that. Elizabeth had put an entirely different spin on it, and added a little bit to that as well, and I loved it. I really do. Because first off, Elizabeth is like one of the sweetest women you'll ever meet in your life. She's just a very loving person, and it comes out in her voice. It really does. So I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to add? Anything? That music, guys. All that stuff that you heard, the horror music when Jacob Marley shows up, all those noises,
the sound effects, everything.
The opening theme, this guy right here, all the layers. A bunch of the actors got together and we sang "Wish You a Merry Christmas" for the carolers, and Nick placed that and layered it beautifully, as Ebenezer Eddie Screwulio is walking by.
Yeah.
All that had to be layered and structured to just get the mood and get the feeling for what we wanted there. And this guy right here was the reason that all came to fruition. So
it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears audio work.
Yeah, it was. This was a huge. I forget how many weeks we put into this thing, because it was getting the people in to do their lines, getting the people to redo some things when we needed them to redo the lines. It was, how dare you knock on that door?
The kids are home, that's why. Okay, so let's get.
Anyway, we're going to get right back into this to the next part.
Yeah.
And hold on a second, please. The trolls.
Yes, once we turn off the mics, we can deal with this.
Yes, the trolls have entered the realm. But all right, so here's part 2.
Yep.
Act 2. The Spirit of Christmas Past. Scrooge lay in his bed asleep, but it was not a sound sleep. This was a restless, shallow sleep. His bedroom was dark, with the exception of a light hue of moonlight coming in through a slight opening between the curtains covering a large window. Moments later, the clock strikes a single time. Scrooge stirs momentarily, but remains in slumber. The moonlight peering between the curtains then gets gradually brighter. This sudden brightness stirs Scrooge from his sleep. He looks at the light and grabs the blanket covering him up just below his eyes. The curtain then separates and light completely engulfs the room for a moment before fading down to a light bluish aura that surrounds a short female form at the end of his bed. This is Tootsie, the ghost of Christmas past. Although she looks young, she is not. There is almost an innocent gleam in her eye. Scrooge lowers his blankets.
You're the spirit that Marley told me about?
Uh-huh. I am.
And you would be...
I'm Tootsie, the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah, that's cute. How far back in the past?
As far back as your past goes.
Okay. May I call you Toots?
Only if you want me to claw your eyes out.
You're one of those feminists, aren't you?
Come, walk with me.
Well, may I at least put a jacket on?
There is no cold when you are with me. Come.
The ghost leads Scrooge toward the wall to the outside of his house, and they pass through it. When they emerge on the other side, the city disappears and is replaced by an old, dirty building. There is a sign that reads Bancroft Library.
I know this place. I was just a kid here. It was a boys' private school my father sent me to.
You remember the place. Strange. You have forgotten so much about what happened here.
It's deserted. Everyone is celebrating Christmas.
All but one boy remains. He has been neglected by friends and family. He is very sad.
Can he see me?
Nope. These are shadows of things that have passed. They have no consciousness of us.
How many Christmases did I spend by myself? I can't even begin to count them.
7. 7 winters.
Look at him. So alone. Must be some dust in the air. My eyes that keep watering.
Oh, please let me help you with that.
What the bleeping blazes was that for?
I'm sorry. I didn't bring you here to watch you get teary-eyed and then claim it to be dust. I brought you here because there are lessons to be learned in your past. And what I really want you to do is learn something. So pay attention!
Fine. I'll pay attention.
Thank you. I have something else to show you now. Come.
The school gets a bit older. A young man walks slowly through a hall to his room. This is Scrooge as a teenager. All the other boys have gone home for the holidays. He walks into his room and sits down on his bed. Tootsie and Scrooge watch on. Suddenly, a girl much younger than the boy runs into the room. She leaps onto the bed and wraps her arms around the boy. This is Fanny, Scrooge's younger sister. When Eddie sees her, he smiles wide and hugs her back.
Little Fan, it's so good to see you, sis.
Brother, I've come to take you home.
Dad's letting me come home?
Home, for good. Home forever and ever. Father stopped drinking, and home's like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one dear night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said yes, you should. And he sent me in a taxi to bring you. And you're to be a man and never to come back here. But first, we're to be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in the entire world.
I don't know what to say. I mean, that's the most wonderful news ever.
Right. I knew you'd be excited.
Well, look at you. You've become quite the woman. Merry Christmas, my dear sister.
Merry Christmas, Eddie.
A delicate creature. The slightest breath could have broken her, but her heart was big and strong.
Yeah, she was one of the few rays of sunshine in my life. Little Fan.
She died a woman. I believe she had children.
One child.
Frederick, your nephew.
Yes, so much like his mother.
We go to the next place.
Where now?
A stockroom in the city. Do you remember it?
Of course I remember it. I worked here. This was my first job.
A large man appears in the room. He is dressed casually and walks up to the two young men working for him. Scrooge laughs.
It's old Fezziwig. Oh, we used to call him old Fuzzy Nuts. And that's Vinny. Vinny Loprosino. We were good friends. The poor kid. He had such a short life.
Vinny, Eddie, why are you lads still working? It's Christmas Eve. Ha 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 ha!
Fezziwig walks over to the main doors of the warehouse, and in walks a crowd of people, a band, someone carrying a Christmas tree, and others carrying tables and kegs. Soon there was a major party happening. There was dancing and music, drinking and eating, and the young men were right in the thick of it all.
It's Christmas. Darling, I've got a whole barrel of Bushmills for you.
Such a small thing to make silly people so full of gratitude.
Small? You call that small?
Come over here, Bridget. Sit on me lap and tell me
Wasn't
what you want for Christmas.
He had spent but a few dollars of your immortal money. Did he spend so much that he was deserving of such praise?
That's not what I mean. He had the power to make us happy or unhappy, working hard or hardly working, you know? I mean, even if his power were in words or looks, and things so slight and insignificant that it was impossible to add and count them up, what then? The happiness he gave was as great as if it had cost a fortune. You know what I'm saying? Old Fezziwig. If there ever was a man who appreciated those who worked for him.
Continue.
No, I was just thinking.
About what?
It's not important. Ah, you hit me again!
You wanted to say something. Tell me!
I was just thinking about Bobby. Bobby Cratchits, that's all. I'm not sure he feels appreciated. How did we get to the park?
The same way we've gotten everywhere.
Isn't that me on the bench?
You're a man now, in the prime of your life. You look so rough, though.
So, that must be...
Gloria.
Both move silently toward the bench where young Scrooge and Gloria are seated. Gloria is a lovely creature, though she looks very sad. Both are seated and talking, but suddenly young Scrooge bolts upright off of the bench.
Where is this coming from?
It's not like I'm making this up. I'm telling you how I feel.
Poverty is the toughest hand to deal with. I'm trying to avoid that for myself and for us.
You're so afraid of life. You try so hard to remove yourself from it. I have watched all of your hopes and dreams fall beneath this desire for wealth. It engrosses you.
So what? Have I not changed for you?
That's just it.
You're saying I haven't.
You wanted to wait. You didn't want to marry me because we were poor, so you said to wait until that changed. And the only thing that changed was you. The promises that were made to me were made by a different man then.
I was a boy.
You once had this beautiful heart. It filled me with happiness, and I wanted to be a part of that. But you are so miserable these days. I spent so much time waiting just to realize that this new you would never change. And I've thought about this for so long. I'm leaving you.
And you think this is what I want?
Not in words, no.
Then how?
This person you've become. Would this person now stop what he is doing? Would you do whatever you could do to seek me out and win me over? No, you wouldn't.
Young Scrooge just stands. Gloria takes a step toward him, but he turns away. Gloria stops. A tear falls from her eye.
Goodbye, Eddie.
And you wouldn't even watch her walk away.
We can leave now. Just take me home.
One more.
No more!
They emerge from the park into a dimly lit living room. Here, there are 3 individuals seated on a sofa around a fire in the hearth. A Christmas tree is lavishly decorated with presents underneath. Gloria, older now, is seated next to her daughter. Her husband James is seated by both of them.
I saw an old friend of yours today.
Oh, who?
Edward Scroogulio.
Really?
I passed this office. He was alone there. His partner's practically on its deathbed, and he's sitting there at his desk. It's so sad.
Get me out of this place, you sadist!
Sadist?
That was probably the best decision she ever made. And what did I know of love, huh? Love from my father? The only love I ever knew was the kind that breaks you in half once it gets taken away. And why would I want that kind of love? Why would I want any of it? Did I ever ask for this? No. Then why should I allow the burden of love's weight and cruelty fall on these shoulders?
What's done is done, Eddie. These shadows are what they are. I am not to blame for them.
The face of Tootsie transforms many times into the faces of those he has seen in his past. The last face he sees is the face of Gloria before he falls into a dark sleep.
I am not to blame for them.
Yeah, we're on.
That was a short act.
It was a short act?
That was a short act.
Okay.
But, so Elizabeth Dukes Malasan did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
As Tootsie. And Gloria was actually my ex-wife. She was my wife at the time, but she did a great job playing Gloria. I was really happy with her performance. I thought she did well.
Yeah, okay. No, she did. No, she did. She did. I'm just, I got to tease her a little bit. Just a little bit.
I actually saw her today. She came over and gave the kids their presents and stuff like that. And it's okay. I mean, we get along just fine.
I keep catching so many tidbits that I forgot were in there that were funny, like the guy in at the party or whatever, when he's like, "Come over here, Bridget, sit on me lap and tell me tell Santa what you want."
Sure.
Wasn't that like ad-libbed mostly?
Troy Randall Smith is a voice actor.
Yes.
He's done stuff for Funimation. He just is a great voice actor. He can do many, many different characters. He played a couple of different characters on our Makacho Brothers show.
Yeah.
What was he? What did we call him? He was Don something. Do you remember the old guy?
Was it Don Julio?
Don Julio.
Yeah.
Yep. Don Julio.
Wait a second. I didn't know that was Troy.
That was Troy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, he just really has the ability to embrace different voices, and when he played,
he had that like oxygen dependent voice when he did Don Julio.
Yeah, it was great. But when he did Fuzzy-Wig, I said, give us something that's outside of what we're doing. Give us something that would almost take us back to London, England, or even anywhere in that time frame. And he chose that kind of Irish voice and everything. But I forget. Roger did an ad-lib on that, and calling him Old Fuzzy Nuts. It was his own thing. And after that, we used to call him Fuzzy Nuts, and that was brilliant.
So who do we have now? We have coming in. We have the Ghost of Christmas Present coming in.
We have the Ghost of Christmas Present coming in, played by Jason Coleman. I'm sorry, I keep making that squeaky noise, but I told him what I wanted, and he just looked at me, and I went, "You can do this, right?" And he said, "Yeah." So this is probably the most different Ghost of Christmas Present you will ever hear in your life.
Yeah.
But he did a wonderful job, and I think out of the three ghosts, Jason and Roger clicked the best here.
Yeah.
They really did. They did well. All right, so we're gonna go into Act 3. And Ghost of Christmas Present.
Act 3. The Spirit of Christmas Present. Sometime later that morning, before dawn, Scrooge tosses and turns in his sleep. As he does, the door to his room from the hallway opens slowly. There is a dim reddish glow coming from the hall. The glow filters into Scrooge's room as a vaporous form of sorts. It lurks around the room, over his bureau, in and out of his bathroom and closet. It turns the TV on in his room, and light from the TV suddenly fills the room as the red vaporous form slips down through the floor. Scrooge stirs as a voice from the TV calls out to him. It is the voice of Victor, the ghost of Christmas Present.
Eddie! Wakey, wakey!
Huh?
I need you to come to the kitchen ASAP.
Who are you? Why are you in my television?
I'm not in your television. I'm actually in your kitchen. I'm looking for soy products, and I can't find anything. What emo goth suicidal closet lesbian designed this place anyway? It's a queer-eyed nightmare. Anyway, let's get a move on. I have a lot to do in a short amount of time. Story of my life, let me tell you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The second ghost is a Fanoich. God really hates me.
Scrooge turns off the TV, grabs his evening coat, and walks out of his room, down the stairs at the end of the hall, and into the kitchen. There he finds Victor. He's in front of the stove, cooking something.
There you are. I gave up on the soy and decided to have a veggie patty. Did you want one? A man with all your money, and you are the most dysfunctional housekeeper I've ever met. Are you going for that wide drive to the funeral home when you have it right here, look? Yeah, I can tell by the look on your face that this is going right over your head. I brought you some gifts. Go look. They're in the entry foyer.
Gifts?
Scrooge eyes the spirit for a moment, then walks over to the entry foyer. There, piled and stacked high almost to the ceiling, are boxes and presents, crates of food, casks, and goblets of silver and gold. Scrooge's eyes go wide as he gazes upon the abundance before him.
The only thing I didn't bring was curtains. Yours are fine and will go wonderfully with the decor I have in mind for the place. I think you'll love them. It's got a very Italian feel to it, very Southern European.
This must have cost a fortune.
Ha! Nonsense. This didn't cost me anything. Your soul is on the line, my friend. It's an easy bartering tool.
You bartered my soul for all of this.
I didn't know more than you would have done, Edward Screwulio. And I'm about to prove that to you.
Of course. Conduct me where you will, spirit. I went forth earlier compulsively. I think I learned a lesson. If I have something to learn from you, by all means I am ready.
Touch my robe. But be warned, it's a gay robe. If you touch it, you will become gay.
Scrooge withdraws his hand away quickly.
Homophobes are so gullible.
I'm not a homophobe.
They all say that. Touch my robe, we'll be on our way. It won't turn you gay, and it won't turn me on. You're not my type anyway. I like them young and liberal.
Big surprise there.
Scrooge touches the robe and the room darkens. They are now outdoors on the snow-covered streets and sidewalks. People are shoveling. Children are playing and throwing snowballs. Snowmen are being built. Decorations are being put up in windows and on doors. Victor lights a candle and holds it out in front of him.
There's so much magic in hope and faith. The candle glows bright when such things are present. I can illuminate an entire block when I'm among the poor and humble.
That is something I will never understand.
You chose not to understand it. The poor have nothing but hope and faith. The scent of this candle will add that little bit of extra something that they yearn for each holiday season. They won't even know where it came from, but it doesn't matter. It's enough for them.
I know many that would prey upon that hope and faith.
There are some upon this earth of yours who lay claim to know us and who do their deeds of passion, pride, ill will, hatred, envy, bigotry, and selfishness in our name. They're strange to us and all our kith and kin as if they'd never lived. Remember that and charge their doings on themselves, not us.
I will.
The candle suddenly illuminates brightly, and they are inside a home. The brightness of the candle makes Scrooge look around and wonder what kind of person would cause the candle to glow so brightly. It is then that he recognizes one of the home's residents, the wife of his property manager, Rita Cratchits.
Oh, this house is truly blessed. There's so much love here. You look perplexed.
I never realized how many children Bobby had.
I know. He has 4 children, Martha, Belinda, and Peter, by birth. And they adopted an Asian girl named Tam. They call her Tiny Tam. She suffers from an illness, sadly, but she's been a blessing of love for this family, and mostly why this candle glows as brightly as it does. If it was not for the cratchits, she'd already be dead.
Suddenly, the front door to the house bursts open and Bobby Cratchetti walks in, Tiny Tam on his shoulders. He's carrying a small goose and a shopping bag full of groceries. Tiny Tam's legs are in braces. The child smiles as she sees everyone. The other children rush to their father and help Tiny Tam climb down from their father's shoulders. They carry her over to the fireplace and sit her down on a chair. Each hug and kiss her and wish her a Merry Christmas. Bobby walks over and kisses his wife.
And how is our Tam today?
Amazing, as usual. She was hoping that people would see her in church today so they would all remember he who made the crippled walk and the blind see.
They look at each other for a moment before embracing, and it is something there in the look they give each other that gives Scrooge a feeling of dread. Both stare at Tiny Tam, and Scrooge walks over to her, watching her. He notices her heavy breath and occasional cough. It is a deep cough. Then Bobby suddenly shouts out,
"A Merry Christmas to all! God bless us!"
God bless us, everyone.
Scrooge feels his heart sink and walks over to Victor, who is watching him.
Spirit, I want to know what will become of Tiny Tam.
Do you, Eddie? Why is the child any concern of yours?
Just tell me, please.
There's an empty seat by the hearth and 2 leg braces without an owner. If these shadows remain unaltered, the child will not see another Christmas.
A child? How cruel is this? You can save her.
Now, why would I do that? Perhaps she should die. That would cut down on the burden the rest of you are asked to take upon in your taxes.
Scrooge feels a wave of nausea, recalling the very words he spoke to the gentleman that came to visit his office, now turned upon him.
No, I didn't. I wouldn't.
What kind of a man are you anyway, Eddie Scroogulio? A man who would decide, if given the power, who should live and die? Who would be boiled in cider and have a stake of holly driven through their heart? Who?
No!
Oh, dear Eddie, are you so sure that you know the truth of it all? Do you really believe that your wealth entitles you to the slightest say in such matters?
I believe that no matter how I respond, you will mock me regardless.
Maybe it's you. Perhaps in the eyes of heaven, you are one of the worthless souls.
Okay, enough now.
Oh, poor Eddie. Perhaps you are the very embodiment of those less fit. Like the adopted sickly child of a poor but loving man.
Please stop.
Mr. Scroogulio, the founder of the feast.
Founder of the feast indeed. If he were here, I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I would make sure he had a good appetite for it.
Rita, the children, it's Christmas Day, please.
Why should I toast such an odious, stingy, hard-feeling son of a... Robert, you know him better than anyone else.
But it's Christmas, Rita. I will have no ill will spoken in this house today.
Very well. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm sure he'll be both merry and happy, no doubt. And you can sleep on the couch tonight.
Poor Bobby.
You heterosexuals are strange. You're so amazing when you act as one. But then there's those times. That's when we realize you're just as screwed up as we are. We're done here. I have a few more places to show you.
Wait. Why you?
Beg your pardon?
Why would you be sent to me?
Why me? Am I not the perfect choice?
Wouldn't be my first choice.
And there is your answer. I represent everything you despise in life, Eddie. I would be the one that you would boil in cider. I would have a stake of holly driven through my heart. You would leave me to die. And yet here I am to teach you. Oh, the irony. It's sweet and so fabulous.
They emerge into a very dimly lit lobby area. There are a few people decorating a pathetic-looking tree, trying to brighten the place up. The candle in Victor's hand is not very bright here, not like in the Cratchits' house.
What is this place? It's filthy. And it smells.
You don't recognize it?
Of course not. I wouldn't be caught dead in a place like this.
You're a funny man, Eddie. This is one of your properties. These people pay you rent. In turn, you give them nothing. They need better heating and care. This place will be condemned soon. By next Christmas, most of these people will be homeless. I could show you 4 more properties just like this, all owned by Marley and Scrooge residentials.
But I have superintendents.
Superintendents who stopped caring because you didn't care. On your desk to the left of the ledgers, beneath journals and unopened Christmas cards from years past, are the requests from your superintendents that have gone unanswered. Years of neglect collecting dust beneath the weight of your greed and apathy, Eddie.
You must really hate me.
Why do you say that? Is it because I've spoken the truth? I'm not capable of hatred, Eddie. So the hatred you think you feel must be coming from within. I pity you. I've watched you wallow in the waste that you yourself have created. I've watched you blame your unhappiness on everything and everyone other than the one responsible for it all.
That would be me.
We have one more place. My time's almost done.
The candle once again shines bright, and when the brightness fades, they are within the living room of his nephew, Frederick, his wife Emily beside him. They are entertaining guests and friends this evening. There is much laughter, and Frederick seems to have everyone's attention.
You're lying.
I'm not. He actually said bull poopy. I really think he enjoys saying it.
Shame on him.
He's a funny one, I'll say that much. Not that pleasant, I might add. His offenses carry their own punishment. I have nothing to say against him.
The life of a rich man. You would think he would be happy. He has everything.
That's just it. His wealth is of no use to him. He's never done anything good with it. He doesn't even make himself comfortable. He wouldn't even pay for an electrician. He'd rather work by candlelight with his coat on than spend a little of his money for heat and light.
I could never have patience with such a man. Obviously, the fact he's never been married shows I'm not alone in that thinking.
I feel sorry for him. I couldn't be angry if I tried. I don't suffer any because of who he is. He doesn't wish to dine with us, and the consequences are that he doesn't get to partake in Emily's amazing cooking.
I'll agree with you there. My cooking is amazing. And before it gets cold, we should eat.
Well, to Uncle Eddie, who has given us a great deal to be merry about.
To Uncle Eddie,
a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, wherever he is. He hasn't taken it from me, and I shall not wish to have it taken from him, even if he doesn't want it.
Amazing.
He is a great speaker, that one.
Not what I meant. It's amazing that even though you're a grumpy old mean man who has never done anything for anyone, you still have people who care for you. One can only imagine what such a man could accomplish if he possessed just an ounce of compassion.
Maybe I'm possessed by some evil spirit. Are there evil spirits?
There are, and they belong to a man like chains choking the soul, dragging behind him. They are ignorance and want. Ignorance is the worst. It builds a quick path to doom. Deny it and give it no purpose in your life. That's how what is written can be erased.
You have shown me a lot, Spirit. I have much to think about.
Victor snuffs out the candle, and Scrooge suddenly finds himself at the corner of an intersection with the spirit.
Ugh! Some spirits have no taste.
Where are we?
Not sure, but this is where he wanted to pick you up.
He?
He, as in the last of the 3 spirits.
Yes, of course.
You nervous?
He is the spirit I fear the most.
Yes, he does have that effect on people. He doesn't scare me as much as his lack of fashion sense. That's a horror all its own.
You're leaving?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head home, microwave some popcorn, and watch Yentl for the 20th time.
That's so cliche.
I know. It's weird how it works that way. Good luck, Eddie. Screw you, Leo. Toodles, 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 toodles.
Act 4.
And there we go.
Act 4.
I'm not biased. It's my favorite part. I had so much fun doing this character, though.
But Jason really did do
Oh
a
my God,
phenomenal
yeah.
job. And I will say, he is as straight as they come.
Yeah.
In normal, he is.
But that line, what did he say?
What closet
lesbian something?
What
goth
emo
goth
emo
suicidal
goth,
lesbian
suicidal closet lesbian.
And I think he came up with that one all on his own.
So yeah, that was awesome.
Oh man. So yeah, that was. I told Jason, I was like, I wanted to be a little feminine, and Jason just went all out.
Yeah,
all out gay. He just went all out gay.
Yeah.
Watch Yentl for the 20th time.
Oh God. Well, if you're still with us,
and some are
after 3 acts, we're coming to, I guess, the last act. Homophobes are so gullible. It's a gay room. If you touch it, you'll be gay. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Some are very gullible. But
okay.
All right, guys. So this is my absolute favorite part.
Now, when you came to me with this part, and you said I was going to play the Grim Reaper, I said, well, what if we treat him like Kron? And, you know, he's got to get 2 coins from everybody.
Right.
And then you did the rest.
And thus we came up with the name of the character.
2 pennies.
And, you know, it was, because if you know the story, Kron is the ferryman. And it was, I forget if it was an Irish thing, but they would leave 2 pennies on the eyes of the bodies of the dead, so that they could pay the ferryman to go to the land of the dead.
Yeah.
And so that's how we kind of came up with 2 pennies and the idea for this particular Ghost of Christmas Future.
I'm not going to say who I designed the character by. I want to see if they figure it out.
We'll let you guys figure out who Steve designed this character after. But Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Was that Karen?
That's Karen, yeah.
Merry Christmas, Karen. Glad you guys are still with us. I hope you're enjoying this as much as we are. This for us was such an accomplishment and a lot of hard work. So let's go into Act 4.
Yep.
The spirit disappears into a cloud of steam that merges with steam pouring up from an underground vent. Scrooge stands at the corner for a moment. He is aware that he is still in his pajamas and evening coat. It is cold. He looks around but sees nothing at first, but then he spots it off in a distance. A pair of blood-red headlights on a huge black Lincoln Continental. It pulls up to the curb where Scrooge is standing. The driver's side door opens. A large man with a goatee and dark sunglasses emerges. He is dressed in a long black trench coat. His hair is greasy and slicked back. Beneath the trench coat is a black 3-piece suit over a black shirt and a white tie. He steps around the car and stands before Scrooge. This is 2 pennies. Most know him as the Grim Reaper or Kron, the ferryman.
You're the spirit of Christmas is yet to come?
You got a problem with that?
No, you're just not at all what I expected.
Yeah, I know. You expected the hooded robe, the skull head, and the scythe. Heavy metal kind of ruined that image for me. You know, I decided to give myself a change in appearance. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Kron, the Ferryman, the Grim Reaper, Lord of the River Styx, but you can also call me Two Pennies, Meat Puppet. You ready to go?
I am ready, Spirit. Lead on.
Great. That was almost too easy. Not sure if I'm disappointed or elated.
Two Pennies goes to the back of the car and pulls out a skeleton key and opens the trunk.
Climb in.
You want me to climb into the trunk?
Exactly.
Can't I just sit in the car?
You trying to be funny? Did I stutter? Did it sound like I said, sit in the car with me?
No.
Get in the trunk, Meat Puppet.
Yes, sir.
First, give me 2 pennies.
Spirit, I have no money on me.
You know, Victor always forgets that part. It's starting to piss me off a bit. When I get my hands on that little Finoich, I'm gonna punch him in the junk. Just get in before I shoot somebody.
Shoot? You carry guns? You don't carry a scythe with you anymore?
That oversized shaving blade? Nah. I get a pair of Desert Eagles now that'll blow an elephant's colon out his trunk.
Scrooge climbs into the trunk and the Spirit closes it. Scrooge trembles in the darkness as a door opens. The weight of the car shifts as the driver sits down in the seat.
I'd hang on if I was you, Eddie. This is going to be a hell of a ride.
Suddenly, the car roars to life.
How you doing back there, Eddie? And there's a roll of toilet paper back there in case you need to make a poopy.
Soon the ride seems to go quiet. Almost too quiet, as if they were on a perfectly smooth road. Yet the tires did not seem to rumble upon any road. It was almost like they were floating on air. Shortly after, Scrooge is aware that the vehicle comes to a halt. He hears a door open and feels the weight of the car relieved of its driver. There are footsteps that move to the back of the vehicle. The trunk suddenly opens, and Scrooge looks up at the Spirit.
Let's go. Time is short.
Scrooge climbs out of the vehicle. They are in front of a small office. There is a sign that reads, Abrams Brothers Attorney at Law. The Spirit opens the door and holds it up for Scrooge. They both walk in. There are 2 men there, each at a desk. They look very much like each other. The men are James and Connor Abram.
Not much about it either way. All I know is that he's dead.
And when did he die?
Last night, I think.
Do we know how he died?
Only God knows.
And the money?
Haven't heard. Left it to his company, I suppose. He didn't give me any. It's probably going to be a cheap funeral. I don't know anybody would even bother going.
I would volunteer if there was food involved.
You and that stomach of yours.
I know these guys. I've done business with them before when people didn't want to pay their debts.
I know all about that kind of business.
It's not the same thing. What I did by the book of the law.
We all have our business, and there are too many laws. Let's take a walk down the street.
They walk down the street to a local cafe. A few people are standing outside and talking amongst themselves. A young woman and her friend are trying to talk discreetly.
Did you hear about the slumlord?
Him? Of course. Ooh, there's that new coffee shop I wanted to try. Let's go.
Scrooge and the Spirit never stop walking. They walk further down the street to a warehouse facility. There, some women are rummaging through bags and boxes of things. The oldest of the 3 is Mrs. Dilber. The other 2 are Abby and Maria.
I don't agree, Miss Dilbert. I think everyone has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
No man ever cared more for himself than him. That's for sure.
All I know is that if he could have found a way to take everything he had with him, he would have done so. The old screw. It speaks for itself that he died and there was no one left who cared about him. He died a lonely man, that one.
So sad, but true.
He got what he deserved.
Bah, too easy. A long suffering would have been just. The way he made others suffer.
Miss Dilber, really?
You're too young to remember the properties he owned. They're all condemned now. Slumlord he was.
All that money. And look where it got him. I'd have done so much better with it. What a waste.
All those people forced out into the streets. Nowhere to go. So many died. Women, children.
Wealth is such an evil thing. It brings out the worst in people.
Ah, what do you know?
Look at these suits, will ya? You would have thought he would have been buried in one of those.
It wouldn't have made him any prettier. That was an ugly man.
You two are awful.
He was probably a minute man anyway, selfish as he was.
Actually, it was closer to 2.
I can only hope that some of this stuff will go to people who really appreciate it.
It is. It's going to me. And I appreciate it very much.
How horrible that a man should die and no one seems to care. Was there no one?
Oh, is that important?
There's nothing to learn here, Spirit. This is depressing.
How about we visit the Cratchits?
Yes, that will do. I would like to see Tiny Tam again to see how the child fares.
Back in the trunk.
You're having a good time with this, aren't you?
You think this is fun? Nah. What's fun will be the day I take you to the other side. You know, I love the look on the faces of the souls that realize they ain't going uptown. It's priceless. Now get in the trunk, meat puppet.
Scrooge climbs into the trunk.
The best part is yet to come.
Moments later, after a long, rough ride, the trunk opens and Scrooge climbs out. There is a light inside the Cratchits' house, but there is no tree, no decorations. Inside, Rita Cratchit sits in front of the fireplace. She is absently staring into a glass of wine. She looks tired and worn. Moments later, Bobby walks in through the front door. He also looks tired. After he hangs up his coat, he walks over and sits next to Rita, putting his arms around her.
Did you go?
I did. I wish you'd gone with me. It's so green there. I promised her you would come with me next time. I promised Tam. That precious little girl. What good is a father who can't save his child? What use am I?
Sweetie, we'll go on. We'll never forget her, but we will go on, and she will always be with us. This was the one place she ever called home.
I knew it! Of course it would be this way. I suppose I'm responsible for this. Is this why you brought me here? Let's watch Eddie, old Scrooge, feel guilty about the death of an innocent child. If only he had been a good man, the child would live.
Have you learned nothing?
I know who I am. I know what I've done, okay? Was it worth the death of a child to show me this? How much have you taken from my life? My dear, sweet fan, my friend Vinny, Jacob.
I don't take the living.
No, you just rub the dead in the faces of the living.
These are just
Yeah, they're just shadows. I've heard that all freaking night. They're my shadows.
You interrupted me.
Too bad, Reaper Man. You wanted me to feel terrible? It worked. As if I didn't already feel terrible enough. And I was so happy with that miserable life of mine. I've had enough of this. I'm done. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
2 Pennies reaches under his trench coat and withdraws a large semi-automatic pistol.
What are you doing?
Ride's over, meat puppet.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Scrooge screams and all goes dark. Sometime later, he awakens. He feels very confined. He is having trouble breathing. Soon, he realizes that something is wrapped around him completely. He panics as he suddenly realizes he's in a body bag. He screams. He reaches around and finds a zipper. He yanks on the zipper and climbs out of the body bag, gasping for breath. When he looks around, he realizes that he's in
a morgue? No, I'm alive!
Scrooge finally gets to his feet. He hears a sound and spins to look behind him, and then sees Two Pennies standing there. Two Pennies busts out laughing when he sees the look on Scrooge's face.
Paisan, that was precious.
You thought that was funny?
Hell no. That was freaking hysterical.
So you didn't shoot me?
Shoot you? I can't shoot you, moron. These are just for show.
Oh, you have a horrible sense of humor.
Eddie, I'm the Grim Reaper. What kind of sense of humor would you like me to have?
I want you to take me back home now.
You're not going home just yet.
Take me home!
You're done when I say you're done.
Suddenly, the eyes of Two Pennies turn a yellowish gold. Pitch darkness swirls about them. Hands and fingers seem to drag a veil of shadow over the room. Two Pennies laughs in a monstrous tone, his voice now sounding almost demonic.
Your fate awaits you, Eddie Screwulio.
There is a flash of light. Scrooge realizes it is lightning. He finds himself in the midst of a tempest. The wind howls. The rain falls down hard upon him, beating his body with cold wetness. Standing in front of him is a robed figure with bony hands. One hand reaches out and points toward a graveyard.
I do not live near a graveyard!
Thunder and lightning crash together as a gust of wind picks Scrooge up in the air, sending him flying into the midst of the gravestones and markers. He lands hard and rolls over as he groans in pain.
So many paths to choose from, Eddie Screwulio. Look upon your choices, your paths, and learn.
Scrooge looks up at a gravestone before him, the name clearly marked, Edward Screwulio.
Okay, I'm going to die, duh. We all die, so what? That's what happens, isn't it?
It is then that Scrooge feels a wave of dizziness sweep over him. Visions begin to surround him. Homeless people, once occupants in his complexes, dying in the gutters and alleys. He sees Tiny Tam suffering for weeks before succumbing to a painful death. A man who has nothing to lose follows Scrooge around and finally corners him in his office one night. He stabs him multiple times and leaves Eddie there bleeding to death. It is the beggar that asked him for spare change. There is a calendar nearby. It is Christmas of next year.
No! No!
Another wave hits, and he sees a man beneath a shroud laying on a metal slab. He hears the voices of Mrs. Dilber, Abby, and Maria. The shroud is removed, and it is his own form on the slab. He hears Mrs. Dilber's voice.
It speaks for itself that he died and there was no one left who cared about him.
Scrooge tries to get to his feet, but suddenly the Grim Reaper is standing before him. Scrooge falls and lands down in an open grave. When he looks around, he sees that he's in a casket. The Grim Reaper reaches down and closes the lid of the casket.
No! I don't want this! I can change! I can change!
Scrooge bangs on the lid of the casket with all of his might. Finally, he stops when he realizes that there is light coming in from his left and right. He looks up and sees that he's under a bed. He emerges out from under the bed and recognizes the decor of his own bedroom. He stands up and collapses on his bed.
I could fix this. It did it again. That's okay. We'll fix it while it's off the screen.
He did it again.
Yep.
Fix it in post. He did it again.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard at that one, boy. I'm telling you. First off, Karen, thank you so much. We appreciate
Yes, thank you, Karen.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
It was really hard to record Steven's lines because we ended up laughing over almost every one of them.
Yeah.
And I think at one point you and I kind of had to leave.
We did.
And just left. We left Steve in there just to record it, like because we just
Especially the toilet paper one.
Yeah.
When I said, in case you got to do a poopy.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to leave for that one. It just
because John was over there holding his hands over his mouth.
Yep. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's not so much what is said, but how Steven said it. You know, he just
it's gonna blow
kind of
an elephant's cooling out its trunk.
So I was very proud of how Two Pennies came out, and Nick's stuff on that whole scenario when
a little bit was ad lib, not much.
A little bit was ad lib, not all of it.
No.
I think you ad libbed. You changed around a couple of things to just make it flow a little bit better. But there were a few. There were a few ad libs. I don't think we had blow an elephant's colon out its trunk originally.
No,
it's just.
No, that was that.
That was greatness. But Nick's production of that whole tempest scene, that tumultuous scene where Eddie's facing, if he doesn't change, this is what he's going to become. And Nick did an outstanding job creating that feeling of that tempest with the music and with the sounds and everything. Outstanding. And he really, really made this happen. That was an awesome part. There was a lot of layers there.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot of layers, and it was definitely the most time-consuming part of the entire production. But it's the part I enjoyed the most doing. Because I was like, all right, now I'm let free. I'm let free to let loose as far as audio content goes, because this is the climax of all of the turmoil in the entire production.
Yep.
Oh, good. Han is here. Hey, does anybody have a guess as to who I designed that character after?
Yeah. Any guesses? Hey, Han.
It'll take him a little while to answer.
Yeah, it'll take him a while.
There's latency.
A little latency.
Yeah, it's about 10 seconds.
Yeah. But no, I had a lot of fun putting that part all together.
But it was funny because a lot of it was just taking what we did on the radio show and how I acted on the radio show and just getting a little darker. That's all. It wasn't a stretch for me.
No. I mean, this is what we did. When we did Who Deflated Nick Marcaccio, it was just us. And Troy, who plays Bobby Cratchetti, actually wrote something else for us called Wops in Space.
I know, I want to do it so bad.
Which I still want to do, and now that we have this channel, we may still do it.
Not Joe Pesci, no.
But it's a good guess.
Not
It's
Joe
a
Pesci.
good guess. It's a good guess. I'm going to let one more guess come up, and then I'll say it.
Is that the one with the brain, the one in the middle? Yes, Odin, that is.
Yes, Odin. Yes, he's the production genius behind this whole thing that we did.
Yep.
Yeah, he wrote all the music and did all the sound. Yeah. He's who I want to be when I grow up. Okay, so I don't think anybody else is going to throw another guess up there. John Wayne.
John Wayne.
No, it was Andrew Dice Clay.
The Dice Man.
That's
Andrew
who.
Dice Clay.
Because I said if this ever got made into a movie, it would be Andrew Dice Clay. I'd want to play that part.
Yeah.
Odin, the answer to your question, no, I absolutely hate my voice and I hate singing. But I play a few different instruments and I've done enough music in my life, but can I carry a tune? No, I don't really like to sing at all.
But you got to hear his version of Cartman's Come Sail Away.
Yeah, it's funny. His character in Ford Fairlane, spot on, Jeannie.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That was it. It was just it.
All right, so I guess we're ready for the final act.
Yeah.
In fact, if you want to maybe push it back, because we were all kind of discombobbled there at the end, just maybe push it back 10 seconds.
I don't want to.
If you can do that, do you have the technology?
I don't want to because I might push it back further. This is very long.
So the only one who can carry a tune is John. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
That's definitely not entirely true.
That's not entirely true. Steve can sing.
Yeah, see you, Odin. Odin is a friend, but he's like he's like that friend that's the thorn.
Yeah, I mean, I can sing some songs okay, but I'm not a singer, and I don't pretend to be a singer at all. When we go to karaoke, we don't go because we're serious singers. We go because we suck and we just want to have fun. That's pretty much it.
Joe Piscopo impression of Frank Sinatra.
Joe Piscopo. Oh my God, that was a great impression.
Yeah.
That's way back in the day,
Yep.
JB. Way back in the day.
Okay, we're gonna get going now.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Okay.
this is the final act
Okay.
of Christmas Carol.
Yep. Mic's off.
The final act. Scrooge dances about his house. He stops once he approaches the entry foyer and at the multitude of goods and supplies still boxed and crated there. He marvels at the immense pile, but an idea suddenly pops into his head that puts an even wider smile on his face.
Ah, Spirit, this was not meant for me. You meant for others to have it, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. I must be out of my mind.
Scrooge runs about the house, stopping at the cellar door where Jacob Marley emerged, the TV where he first saw Victor, and the items that the women were taking at the warehouse. They were all still there.
Thank you. I promised to do it right this time. Do you hear me, Jacob, you wonderful old ghost, you?
Scrooge runs over to the window in his bedroom and swings the panes open. He looks down and around at the people. He sees a young boy walking by himself, playing in the snow.
Ah! I don't even know what day today is. That's ridiculous. Hey, boy. Boy, yeah, you. What day is today?
Today?
Yes. What day is today?
It's Christmas, silly.
Oh, Christmas! Such an intelligent child, of course it is. I haven't missed it at all. Boy, I want you to go to the butcher shop down the street. You know the one I'm talking about?
I know the one.
Good boy. Tell Vito, the butcher, that I want the best turkey he has, the biggest one in his shop. I'll pay for it myself. When he brings it, I will tell him the address to take it to. Do that for me, and I'll give you $5. Get him here within 15 minutes, and I'll give you a 20. Whoa, that kid can run. Future track star there. Oh, I can just see Bobby Cachetti's face when they arrive at the front door with that turkey. He won't believe his eyes.
Sometime later, a worker from the butcher's shop arrives with the turkey. Scrooge gives him money and directions. He also gives the young boy a 20 as promised. Scrooge then hails a taxi and has the driver take him to the nearest soup kitchen. He walks inside, and there, as he expected, serving food to the homeless, were the two men that visited his office the afternoon before, Phil and Troy. When they see him, they almost fall over each other.
Mr. Scroolio?
A Merry Christmas, my good friend.
Merry Christmas. May I ask why you're here?
Scrooge leans in and whispers in his ear. Phil's eyes widen and a look of shock falls over his face.
Are you serious?
I am. Bring a big truck. Everything is in the entry foyer already boxed and ready to be moved. You should be able to feed and shelter an army with it. Whatever value you reach for it, let me know and I will be sure to continue that donation every year. I assume that will be satisfactory.
More than generous, sir, and a Merry Christmas to you.
A Merry Christmas to you, and to everyone!
Scrooge leaves the soup kitchen and climbs back into his taxi. The taxi takes him to the front of his nephew's house. Scrooge sits in the cab for some time before exiting. He tips the driver and the taxi leaves. Scrooge paces dozens of times before finding the courage to knock on the front door. After a few knocks, the door opens.
Uncle?
Frederick, my dear nephew, I don't deserve anything from you. I've done nothing to earn your sympathy or your trust. I have been an old fool. I'm an old fool that has finally realized the folly of his life and every opportunity he has squandered to this point. Your mother was the most precious thing in my life, and I took her death very hard. I've been a grumpy old crotch ever since. I don't deserve your forgiveness.
Bull poopy. There's nothing to forgive, Uncle. We're family. Will you join us for dinner?
I would like that very much.
Scrooge stays the entire day and evening with his nephew, his niece, and their friends. They talk about Frederick's mother and catch up on each other's lives. It is a very happy time. The next morning, Scrooge is in his office. He stares at his watch, at the front door, and then back at his work. At 9:15, Bobby Cratchits strolls briskly into the office. He hurriedly moves to his desk, frantically trying to get started before...
Cratchits! Not only are you not early, you're late! What do you mean by coming here at this time of day after I gave you a day off with pay? Explain yourself!
Sir, I'm so sorry. I'm so far behind today. I will make it up to you.
Oh, you're behind, all right. Get over here!
It's only once a year, sir. I just got a bit too merry last night, huh?
I'll not stand for this any longer. So here is what is going to happen. I am firing you as my property manager!
Oh, God, no. Please, sir.
And I'm going to make you my partner!
Sir?
We need to hire another property manager. Then we're going to see about fixing up our property so that people can live comfortably. I won't be a slumlord.
Of course not, sir.
This means that you'll need a big fat raise in salary, Bobby. Together, we are going to own some of the finest properties in this city. What do you say to that?
What happened, sir? Are you okay?
I'm more than okay, my friend. I understand now my place in this life, and we have much work to do. I also want to talk about helping to assist you and that family of yours, especially Tiny Tam. I want nothing but the best for my partner and his family. Is everything okay, Bobby?
I prayed for this for years.
Merry Christmas, Bobby.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Call me Eddie.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tam, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and he paid little heed to them, for he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on this globe for good, at which some people did not have their fill of laughter in the outset. And knowing that such of these would be blind anyway, he thought it quite as well that they should wrinkle up their eyes and grins as have the malady in less attractive forms. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He had no further communication with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tam observed, God bless us, every one. The end.
Mics are on. Yes, you can hear us. And then look at that, even has that.
The wop in the
so
pants.
well, damn. That's old.
That is old.
And I don't have to worry about it going into something else. And I just kind of rolled it back. So now they're not hearing that.
They're not hearing it anymore?
Nope.
Oh.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Ta-da! That was the sum of weeks of hard work, exhausting evenings, days, especially the last day.
Geez, I was just in the studio for 2 hours and I was done. Bye. See you later.
Thank you, Jess. That's all this guy right here.
Yeah.
All this guy.
Thank you so much, Karen, for more help like that.
Karen,
Thank you.
we love you too. Thank you. But we hope you enjoyed that, guys. We this can now be placed up for everybody to see.
Yeah, it'll be
when you want to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine. Appreciate that. I almost want to do Wops in Space now. I almost
I'll have
do.
to contact Troy.
Yeah. Thank you, Natalie. We could we could just go back and forth. You could send us stuff.
Yeah.
We could send you stuff back and forth. Thank you, JB. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, with the technology that
Thank you,
exists
Lucky.
now,
Yeah.
as far as sending stuff back and forth.
Oh, it's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, because back then we didn't have all this cool stuff. It was a lot harder to do.
Yeah, we could record a lot of stuff here. Just send it to you.
Yeah, hon, you can go watch this from the beginning. Hopefully it'll stay up.
Oh yeah, it will.
It's our material. Yeah. I mean, yes, it's from Dickens' A Christmas Carol, but everybody does adaptions of things.
Yep.
So, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Matt. Yes, you were, Han. I don't know. Did you oversleep?
Oh my God.
Were you watching Everglow shows again? Or did you get hammered?
For me, there's kind of late, there's pretty late, then there's wassa late. If I get distracted.
Thank you, Lucky. Wassa late?
Yeah.
You know that person that's going to kill him?
Yeah. Maybe. Forever Let's Go. Yep. You won't know. So we hope that this was at least a small part of a good Merry Christmas, a good day for you guys. I'm just happy that the three of us were able to be here together so that we could present this to you, because this doesn't happen without him, and it wouldn't have felt right if it was just Steve and I. It wouldn't have felt right.
Yeah.
But this is not the last time you're going to see or hear from this guy.
Yeah, we can tell them about that because we're gonna maybe once in a while Skype him in from Maine, and he'll be on our live.
So every now and then we're gonna bring Nick in. I gotta be honest with you guys. We haven't got him quite into K-pop yet. It's not really his style of music that he listens to now. He listens to a lot of singer-songwriter stuff now, but I did introduce him to a few things, and he kind of liked a few of them.
Okay, what you say? Lucky? What are you talking about? There's a newer version of Maria? Like, newer than the last one that I reacted to?
You're welcome, Jasmine. That's a hell of a compliment. Thank you so much. So there's new version of Maria? Oh boy.
That's dangerous.
But what was I gonna say?
There was some K-pop in there that I was okay with.
Yeah.
More of the jazzy, bluesy type stuff.
Yeah.
When it gets too
popcorn
dancey, then it loses me a little bit. A little. That's all.
But what we do get with Nick though is musical knowledge, and he can add so much to, the critiquing of the music, the listening to the melodies and stuff like that. So we can get another expert opinion from him on what we're listening to and where these sounds came from, because some of the things that we've heard, as you guys even know, come from decades ago, and he'll be able to pluck those out as well. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll add a little something to what Steve and I have been doing up to this point. But glad you were here, man.
Yeah, I was glad I was able to make
you were here. So, anybody else got anything to add? It's a long show.
Yeah.
I love this studio space, by the way. This is great.
Yeah, it was fun building it. It was, I have to say. It still has some things that I'm going to do to it, but...
You're never done, aren't you?
Never. It's funny. When I had the talk with my wife about building another studio 4 years ago, and I had a mic and a mixer. That was all that I had left from the old one.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm only going to get a couple of things. I'm not going to get too crazy about it. That's the first lie.
Couple.
Yeah.
And then just kind of went nuts from there.
Kit Kat, unfortunately, because we were late. We were almost half an hour late. We just don't have the time to get everything in. It's already 10:30.
Yeah, and we'd like to actually have a monetized view.
This guy's yawning over here.
His just dying.
Past his bedtime.
And I just got a crazy weekend ahead of me. I got the kids all to myself tomorrow, which by noon I'll be pulling my hair out of my head.
So we hope you had a good time. Like I said already, we did. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sticking with us all the way to the end of this. I was worried that some people might leave halfway through, and maybe some did, but the fact that there are still plenty of you left here makes me happy. Makes me feel like we accomplished something tonight. So, anybody else?
No.
All right. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
Wait, I feel like I'm Steve. And now it fits. Yeah. And we're 40 plus.
Have a fantastic rest of your Christmas, however much of it is left. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys New Year's Eve.
Thank you guys for having me.
I'll get the vocoder out, damn it.
You guys, you want a 10-minute talk, you want to rant, and I don't feel ranty.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. We've had such a good time.
So, okay, let me talk about in-laws. Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay. What do you got? What do you got for us?
I'll be nice. I can't.
You can't?
It's not as bad as it has been.
Okay.
All right. It's been bad before.
Well, I got a story about your son, EJ.
Okay, can I preface this?
You can preface this.
Now, you guys remember when John and I went to do a live and the mics were just weird. I looked at my whole entire set of racks here and everything was just turned in the wrong direction. And I opened up the door and I'm like, who wrecked my studio, Elijah? So, that being said.
So, the other day, Elijah is talking to me and he's like, Uncle John, which is my name, Uncle John. Uncle John, are you going in the studio with Daddy? And I said, yes, I am. And he goes, okay, I need to go in there so I can wreck something. And I was like, did you just, I looked over at Steve. I went, did you hear what he just said? And he's like, what? And as he's walking down the hall, he says it again. I'm going in the studio to wreck something.
Little shit.
This house of mayhem.
We just added a hunting dog to it.
Yes.
A coonhound.
Yep.
Just with jowls and howls.
Like father, like son. Yeah, in a sense.
I don't go into my studio to wreck something. It has happened, but
it has happened.
Or
Yes.
it's just when something gets messed up, I get colorful.
Yeah.
Like trying to get set up for today, I had a mouse and a keyboard that failed. The batteries went dead. So whatever the batteries I got for them were pieces of shit. So I had to get new batteries, and thank God I have them. And
Oh, I got one for you.
What?
Are you done with that story? Are you done? Because I got one.
What?
He's got like this really serious look on his
Like,
face.
you like, I'm in for it.
Yes,
Okay,
you.
go. Let's go.
You.
Let's
So
go.
Nick and I get in the car. We have everything. we're already running behind.
I couldn't find the file.
We start driving. We're not even on the highway yet. I'm on the service road. I haven't even got. I've just stopped at the light at Collins. All right. I get a phone call from Steve, and when I saw the phone ringing, everything, I'm like, "Oh, this is not going to be good." And everything. So I turn it on, and I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "I'm freaking out." That's how he started the whole thing. I'm freaking out. Why? Why are you freaking out? I can't find the Christmas Carol anywhere. I've looked all over for it. I don't know where it is. And the hard drive or something.
Yeah,
I can't find it. It's not working and everything. And I'm like, oh my God. All right, I'll turn around. I will go back to the house because I've got a DVD of it. I will get it. So we turn around and we go all the way back to the house. I am in the room. I'm looking for it. The phone rings again. And it's this ass munch. And he's
breaking my microphone. You hear that?
And he says, turn around. I found it. Turn around like I was still in the car. I wanted to scream at him. I'm in my freaking room looking for this, you dumbass. So I told him, I was like, when I get there, I am totally going to dick punch you. You. Thus the reason why we were really late today.
We were going to be late anyway.
We were.
Just say it.
We
were going to be late anyway.
I mean, we got here, what?
Is it a 40-plus stream unless there's some technical thing?
And thankfully we have a bunch of listeners who understand that.
But there's what other reactors do as many lives as we do?
I'm just saying.
They don't do any.
Thankfully that they understand, because sometimes, I swear, we are Murphy's Law.
Hey, look, I'm tooting my own horn. Yeah, you're a horn player. Toot my horn.
It's the most awkward thing I've heard all
Okay.
I now want to walk.
You say to your brother.
I now want to walk up to a random stranger and say, "Hey, you look like a horn player. You want to toot my horn?"
Okay. Okay, there you go. There's your 10-minute rant.
Yep, there it is. So, as you shall receive, we shall deliver.
And I should have just done that for the whole one, but they haven't been looking at us. So now we can say goodbye for real.
Yes.
Seeing that the screen's been off.
Take care, everybody. Enjoy. We love you.